Welcome everyone to the call, and thanks for being here. I'd like to introduce Lee Thomas, and he's here going to be introducing Agora Advantage, our opportunity with hotels and travel, sports, and concert. We were just actually talking prior to the call about the Super Bowl and what the tickets are going for, and then also the show Hamilton in New York. So, Lee, it's really great to have you on the call. We really appreciate you being a part of Agora. This is really an exciting product. It's really an add-on to the membership for the type of deals and discounts you can get. Lee will be going over that today. Lee, maybe you can give the background of your company and why you got into this, and then go right into the product. So, Lee, welcome to the call.
No, thank you. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak to everybody on the call today. It's always an enjoying process for us when we get to communicate with people who are actually using the platform. And so what I'll do today is I'll just give an overview of the platform to start. And what we'll do is we'll just do a page-by-page walkthrough of the site. I'll point out some of the more salient features, how the discounts work, and then do a little Q&A session at the end. That sounds okay to everybody? I'll get started. First off, let me ask, can everybody see my screen, or is there anybody that cannot see the screen that's on the call right now?
I think we're good.
Okay, all good. Okay, great. So
some people called in, so they're not seeing the screen, so they're just going to be hearing it.
Okay.
But I am recording it.
Okay. So our company is called Affinity Travel Benefits, and we operate an aggregation network with three principal products. We have hotels, and hotels at wildly discounted prices. We have event tickets in the categories of sports, concerts, and theater. And then we have another category called group rates, where if you need to reserve more than 10 hotel rooms or buy more than 10 tickets to an event, we can negotiate with the hotel or the venue for better pricing. So we'll cover all those categories here in just a minute. Our company's been around for about, in its current form, about 6 or 7 years now. Prior to that, we were operating an aggregated benefit network with all different types of products, but really over the years kind of honed in on travel and entertainment, which are the two highest spend categories in the voluntary benefit network. So, and the reason they're the highest spend categories is because everybody travels over the course of the year. Don't care who you are, at some point over the course of the year, you're going to end up having to go somewhere and stay in a hotel. And so this is the area of the website where we can affect the greatest savings for members and keep people happy. And then the second highest category in voluntary benefits is tickets. And so we have the two top performing categories inside voluntary benefits. And the platform is all about just keeping people happy, giving the lowest rates we possibly can, and using good data and good technology to do so. Okay, so I'll explain all that. Now, I can tell you, we'll start with hotels. And hotels, while the offering has been around for a number of years, the framework, the network that we use to pull in hotel deals is the same network that the now historical travel agent, back from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and then up into the late 90s, you would call to book travel around the world. And so they're all tapping into a big mainframe network that gave them access to hotels all around the globe. With the advent of the internet, technology companies started to leverage that network to offer real-time hotel deals, and everyone sort of migrated into the digital world for sites like Expedia, Travelocity, and Priceline. And that's the space that we live in today. And now 98% of all bookings occur online. And the traditional travel agent is gone by the way of the dinosaur almost. So the difference between us and a traditional travel agent or an Expedia or a Priceline or a Travelocity is that as a aggregator and a wholesaler of travel, our hotel inventory is not available to the general public. And that's important because these deals that we offer are only available through private membership organizations like Agora, where you have to log into a website to see these rates. And there's a law It's really more of a global law than just in the United States, and it's called rate parity. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with rate parity, but a very quick explanation of it. It's hard to define, but a quick explanation would be that rate parity just gives the hotel the right to set their own daily rates, and that protects them. So, as an example, if the Marriott, where I am here in Atlanta, sets the minimum rate for their standard room at $200 today, it means that all the public-facing websites, your Expedias and Pricelines, must charge $200 or more. Pretty simple. They can't charge less than that because the hotel has the right to set their price. Now, as a wholesaler, we can't sell above that price, so we have to sell it for $200 or less. And here's where the savings get created. Let's just say that the Marriott sets the minimum daily rate today at $200, but they want to get prime position inside of Expedia and Priceline. So they say, you know what, we're going to set the minimum rate for $200, but we're only going to charge Expedia $100 for the room. So now Expedia has $100 in profit built in because of rate parity. That's great news for Expedia. There's a lot of profit there. It's bad for the consumer because the consumer has to pay an extra $100. So as a wholesaler, we'll buy that same room for the same $100 that Expedia pays. Only we'll mark it up by 5 to 8%, depending on how we buy it. So in our network, a member would pay $105 to $108 for the same room that the general public would pay $200 or more for. And that's rate parity, and that's how it works. So I'm going to give you an example. We're going to do a search just real quick in Orlando. I'm going to demonstrate the truth behind this. And we'll just go pick an advanced state here in Orlando. Now, when we load up search results in our search engine, it takes the same 12 to 15 seconds that Priceline and Expedia take to filter their results. The difference being, when we sort our results, we like to lead with the wow factor first. So the very first thing you're going to see in the search results is the highest discount first, and then they go down in descending order. So the very first deal here, 61% off the JW Marriott. That's in February, the 19th and the 20th. So a net rate of $168. I don't know if anybody stayed at that hotel. It's a beautiful resort. That's an incredible rate. As we go down the page, we see 59% off, 59, 49. We load about 10 results per page, and we get all the way to the bottom. The last result still showing 41% savings. So now let's do a little comparison here. Let's go to Expedia. Orlando. We go back to February. I think it was the 19th and the 20th. Is that right? Do a quick search. As I mentioned, it takes 12 to 15 seconds to load up all these search pages. Ours just does that sorting by the greatest discount first. Most of the time you see search results loading up into a search engine like this, it's because of the margin that's been promised to Expedia or Priceline. How much profit they have, and they position those first. Okay, there's the one we're looking for. Okay, so JW Marriott, Orlando Grand Hotel on the 19th and the 20th of February, $439 here. When we scraped the internet, the best deal we saw was actually $431.15. So it's not an Expedia rate. We looked across about 100 different sites. We found the lowest rate available was $431, so about $8 less than Expedia. The wholesale rate was somewhere in the 155 range. We've applied 5 to 8% on that rate. Your rate now is $168. You saved $262.91 on that booking. And this is all because of rate parity. So your savings are protected. They're exclusive. You have to be part of Agora to get these rates, but they're very real, as demonstrated right here. And you guys can replicate that search on your own. No fudge factor in here at all. Okay, any questions so far?
You're doing good.
Okay, very good. Now, once you're in here in the site, it's like any other website, other than you have great savings. If we were going to, let's say we wanted to stay at a 5-star property, we wanted to sort that by the biggest savings first. We would click that button right there. Looks like it's loading up the Walt Disney World Dolphin, but that can change. This will throw the search results out of the greatest savings first, and that will start to prioritize them by dollar amount saved. So $342 a night in savings at the Villas of Grand Cypress. There's that JW Marriott again, and so on and so forth right on down the list. We also have ratings by star rating, which will put the 5 stars first by popularity. These are the hotels that book the most, and then by price. And that'll be the lowest price first. And you can also look at the area map. So if you want to see what area of town you want to stay in. And the map is really good because it loads up all the results, about 50 of them. And when you click on any of those little tiles right there, you can see what the rate is, what our net rate is. It's not a great savings opportunity here, but you can also then scroll through the photographs. So you can get a good look at the hotels before you even click into the property. So this map feature is an enhancement. We've had it online for about a year now, and it gets used all the time. So members love it. If you're looking for a specific hotel, you can type that in over here. So we can look at the Hilton property. And as we start to type in Hilton, we'll start to auto-populate results here. And we can click the update. So again, like any other search engine, beyond the great savings, so you're not losing anything in terms of functionality on the site. And here's the Hilton with 22% savings. So a very good rate for that Hilton in Orlando. Okay, let me go back to the main page here. I'll show you right now up here in the upper corner of the page. If you're looking at this gold writing, the average savings per booking today, that's as of this very minute, is $145.04 per booking. Right now, I just looked at this morning, we're averaging 1.99 nights per booking. So that's about $77 per night in savings. That's what we're averaging right now at this time of the year. Now, in the slower times of the year, that's really at the very end of December for early January bookings, and then a little bit toward the end of the summer when people are going back to work and school. And we'll see that rate drop down to as low as about $85 in savings. If you get into the holiday months and also to the summertime months, you'll see the savings go up exponentially. When we get into summertime travel with an average night stay of 3, 4, 5 nights, the savings will average about $400 per night or per booking. So really tremendous savings. But if you think about this, on 2 nights saving $145, on the booking we just looked at a minute ago, we were saving over $500. These are real savings. You can either take those savings and upgrade your room. You can take those savings and stick them in your pocket. You can take those savings and buy meals all over town. My story from October of last year, I went to New York. I took my family to a play and bought them dinner with the money we saved from the hotel booking. Covered the entire meal and tickets to a Broadway show just from the money we saved at the hotel. Okay, now, in addition to this, we have some videos on the website, some overview videos. So if you ever want to understand, look and get a quick idea of what you get with the site, I'll just play this little video real quick, and we'll move on to tickets.
Congratulations! You found it! At last, the one website with absolutely the lowest pricing on hotels and tickets anywhere. With members-only pricing, you'll save big. Compare our rates, which are not available to the public, and see for yourself. What will you do with the savings? How about a longer stay or a suite upgrade? Go to more games, more concerts, get better seats. Jump online and compare it to any other website. You'll be glad you did. It's like we say, save more, play more, enjoy more.
So now we like to communicate with videos from time to time. You'll see other videos about savings. At the end of last year, our average savings over the course of the year was $105. And on our ticket video, we just talked about the variety of tickets. But we're going to do that ourselves here in just a minute. The very last thing I'll show you down here before we move into the ticket category are related to our lowest rate guarantee. So we like to say that when you book your room, you can book with confidence. because our low rate guarantee guarantees that if you find a rate on any site, anywhere on the internet, whether it's this site, the Agora site, or Expedia or Travelocity, if you find a low rate within 24 hours, we will refund the difference and give it right back to you. So you really have nothing to lose. Now, when you get a little more experience with this platform, and I'll give you a little helpful hint here, you can actually game this platform a little bit. So an example I'll give you from my trip to Chicago just a few months ago, I had booked a reservation at the Ambassador Hotel. I was saving $75 a night on a 4-night stay, so I was saving $300. I booked that about 6 weeks in advance of my stay. But about a week before I was going to the Ambassador, I kept looking at the rates, and they were always higher. But about a week before I went, I had an opportunity to save $50 more per night at that hotel. So I looked at my reservation. It was a prepaid room, but I had a good cancellation policy. So I could cancel the reservation for $20. So what I did was I booked the room all over again. Instead of saving $300, now I was saving $500. After I booked that room, I went and canceled the previous reservation, which cost me $20. So my net was $480 in savings for the same event, so for the same stay. So the 24-hour guarantee is great, but if you really understand the platform and you keep coming back and you look, before every booking, you might have an opportunity to save more money. And so keep that in mind. When we look at clients we've had for a long time with really mature files, we see people do this all the time, where they'll be watching rates, they'll cancel, and right after we see the cancellation, we'll see a rebooking. And typically it's the opposite of that. You want to book first, make sure you can get the room, and then cancel after. But very common on our platform for experienced users. And I'm telling you that today so you guys can take advantage of that same opportunity. Okay, I'm going to move over to sports and concerts now. Now, sports and concerts and theater. This isn't like hotels. This is not the same as rate parity. There are no laws that protect discounts. The way we generate discounts on sports, concerts, and theaters is we just don't mark the service fees up as much as a Vivid Seats or a StubHub. I'm sure everybody's at some point purchased tickets on a StubHub or a Vivid Seats, and then you see a rate of, let's say, $100 a ticket. You buy 2 tickets, you're expecting $200, and you get into the shopping cart, and now your rate's $270 because you got walloped with 35% website convenience fees, which I think is just a ridiculous title for that, but that's what they're called quite often, is a website convenience fee. So in our world, the pricing structure is the same as you'll find on a Vivid Seats or StubHub, only we don't mark it up near as much. So there are licensing fees and all kinds of fees that really do impact the system that you have to pay to the venue providers and to resellers of tickets that can total 15–18%. But you'll see that on our platform, we're marking it up, depending on how we buy it, by about 20 to 22%. So the savings are really just generated in the fact that you don't have these really aggressive fees. Now, the inventory is broad, just like in hotels. I mean, if I didn't tell you about the hotel inventory, let me backtrack. The hotel inventory, there are over 1 million hotels on the platform. And if you look at Expedia and Priceline and Travelocity, you'll find the hotel counts are about the same. We actually have a little bit more inventory than those bigger companies like Expedia and Priceline and Travelocity, simply because years ago, Expedia got concerned about Priceline's growth. And so they started doing exclusive deals with hotels and wholesalers. And when they did these exclusive deals, Priceline couldn't get that inventory. Priceline fought back with the same. And they have exclusive deals that Expedia can't get. So because we're an aggregator, our job is to move a lot of inventory. We don't get affected by those exclusive deals. We have access to all the inventory that the internet has to offer. So our inventory is even greater. So as we transition over to tickets, I'll tell you we have the same thing. We're tied into the same aggregated networks where you have individual sellers. It's called the secondary ticket market, where sellers are trying to sell the tickets that they own. You might be a season ticket holder to the Philadelphia Eagles. You want to move those tickets, and you can sell them through Vivid Seats or StubHub. We're tapping the same network with thousands and thousands of individual sellers, wholesalers, you name it. We just don't mark it up as much. So we have on the platform well over 100,000 events every single year, millions of tickets, and about $5.5 billion in inventory, which is a big number. And And if you look at these other sites like StubHub, you'll see they've got about the same. Most of the ticket inventory is domestic, but we do have some international stuff here too. So when we first started this platform of aggregating the ticket inventory, we had categories for sports that were professional sports, NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, and hockey, and then NCAA in the categories of football and basketball. We have so much sports inventory now, we have to categorize it in much broader scope. So we have things like boxing, golf, NASCAR. Of course, we have the professional sports, PGA. But I'll give you an example. Soccer in the United States is right here. It's Major League Soccer. If you go to soccer over here on this side of the screen, you're going to see you have opportunities to watch Manchester United play Burnley. If you want to watch Real Madrid beat up on Barcelona in the city of Madrid, you can do that too. So the inventory moves really, really quickly. Now, the categories on this load incredibly fast. Every time I click an option, you'll see it just loads in a nanosecond. There's all of your golf. There's your NBA. Just loads up in real time really, really quickly. With every 2 seconds of latency on a page turn in the ticket world, you lose about 7% of your audience. So we have all the ticket inventory on speed servers, and we keep it to maybe a couple hundred sites wide per server. So you're going to have access to this great inventory, fast page turns. It'll give you the opportunity to, when you see a ticket, buy a ticket before it's purchased by somebody else on another site, which is really nice. We also, if you click on the main header for sports or concerts or theater, we like to load up the most, not the most important, but the highest trending categories. Now, right now, as I mentioned, Super Bowl, as of today, became the highest trending, so that'll be up there in the next few hours. It'll dynamically load itself. Concerts, kind of the same thing. If we look at the concert categories, I'm going to talk about the categories first. I'm going to talk about some unique opportunities we have here too, though. So if you look at the categories, you have alternative, bluegrass, classical, hard rock, family, music festivals. Now, music festivals will be things like Lollapalooza, South by Southwest. Really fun events around the country, even around the world. Your techno and electronic music, that's really going to be your European markets. I like to look at the country music category, because when you think of country music, you think of the artists themselves. But inside of country music, and this is the cool thing, we've got things like the CMA Awards. So if you wanted to go sit with the stars on November the 14th, 2018, just a couple months ago, in Nashville for the Country Music Awards, you could have purchased tickets to that event right here on this website. It's one of the events that we highlighted and featured of the week. Sometimes we'll take the top performing artists or top performing events, and we'll market those. And other times we'll take things a little bit more obscure with limited seating, like the Country Music Awards, just to show you the variety of inventory that we've got available to you members. So we really love that category. Theater, kind of the same thing. We used to just do Broadway shows and a little bit of Cirque du Soleil and Blue Man Group type shows. We expanded those categories and things like, ballet, of course, Broadway and Cirque du Soleil, but dance, off-Broadway opera. And if anybody knows what the West End is, this is the theater district in England. So if you wanted to go see the original Phantom of the Opera at Her Majesty's Theatre in the West End in London, you can do that right here on the site. So tremendous breadth of inventory here. Now, let me go back to sports real quick. If I choose the NFL, or really any category, the very first thing it's going to do, we're down to one NFL game, so I'll just show you. I chose the NFL, so we have the Super Bowl left. It happens to be right here in Atlanta where I'm located. So these are all the different events in and around the Super Bowl. Let me go to concerts, though. Let's go to all concerts. Well, theater. I'm having a little issue here. What this will do, 99 times out of 100, it's going to geolocate where I am. So I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. So the first thing it's going to do is to load up all the events right here in the Atlanta area first. And there, Atlanta's a big city, so we'll probably go an entire page of nothing but Atlanta events. But then if I'm going to go to New York City next week, I change the location just that quickly. It'll load up everything that I might be interested in theater in the city of New York. So the site is geolocating us at all times. If I had done that, I don't know why I didn't pick up my location here when I first did that search, but whenever you turn your computer on, you come to this website, it's going to geolocate exactly where you are. So if you're in Indiana today and you pull the site up, it'll show you all the events in Indiana first. And if you go to Chicago the next day, it'll show you your Chicago events. So there's some intelligence built in behind the site that'll kind of always keep you in the know of what's going on in the area that you're spending your time in. And the very, very last thing we'll cover right quick is the group rates. So group lodging is defined as 10 rooms or more. I don't know if you guys have ever tried to book 10 rooms at a hotel on a single card or under a party. But if you do, let's say that you went in today and you tried to book 10 rooms at the Marriott. If it saw a common thread between the people on that reservation, let's say it was me and I booked 10 rooms and I used one credit card, I would get a notification after I booked those rooms that my rooms have been canceled. Because when you need 10 rooms or more, you have to go meet with or discuss the room block with the guest service manager at the hotel. You just cannot book that off Expedia or Priceline. Same thing happens with flights. You try to book 10 or more tickets on an airline, they would cancel your reservations. They would make you talk to an agent that specializes in group rates. So that's the same of the hotel world. So what we do here, if you have any needs in the group area, and we like to give you a little hint on what that means. So if you're booking any conferences, conventions, reunions, weddings, or any other gatherings, let's say you're an executive in a company, you want to do a little retreat with your top employees, this might be a good opportunity to work with our group lodging department. Now, I just worked with our group lodging department for a friend of mine who was having a 50th birthday, and we went down to New Orleans. And we stayed at one of only 2 5-star properties in the city of New Orleans. And the going rate that week was $500 a night, which we wouldn't have paid. We got it to $210 a night. And got exactly 10 rooms and filled them all. So there are great opportunities to save money when you're negotiating in group bookings when you have people that understand what they're doing and what to ask for. So in addition to getting a rate at $210 a night, I think it was actually $212 per night, we also got complimentary breakfast in there and free parking at the valet. So this is a really great opportunity to save some money on group. We have a simple little form. It's only this long. You tell us a little about your event, where it's going to be, where you want to stay, what type of hotel, your date range. You hit submit, and you'll get a little return page that says, thank you for submitting your request, and then our team will be back in touch with you typically the same day, no later than the next day. And the same thing for group tickets. On the tickets, this is more corporate, so this is all about boosting employee morale, promoting teamwork, strengthening relationships with customers, and taking in a fun event together. So again, that's 10 tickets or more. Same kind of form, really simple to use. And again, when you buy in bulk, we can get you great savings. We can get you box seats. We can get you seats together. Whatever you're looking for is available through the group lodging and the group booking department. And that's our platform, sort of top to bottom. And I'll open up for any questions that you have now.
Oh, that's great. So basically you're saying because we're hidden behind the membership of Agora, that's why they're getting the discounts on these things, and you're beating the other prices. So I want to let people on the call know that as you bring in members into Agora, which we have made it where there's no credit card required, there is great value just on the membership alone. Not only do we have savings everywhere else, but this right here is a huge added benefit. We'll open up for any questions out there. And
hey,
I know you've been on the call before. Yeah, Troy?
Hey, so as an example, I'm from Maine originally, and there aren't a lot of concerts up there that are big name because, they're going to hit the big cities mostly. But there are some. I was wondering if you find that there's any kind of difference in terms of availability of tickets in more remote areas, like a Bangor, Maine, or where it's not. I would think there's going to obviously be a lot more opportunity for discounts in a city, but I'm just curious, any thoughts on that?
Sure. Well, yeah, and it affects both sides of our platform. I'll tell you first on hotels, and we'll come back to your question about tickets. On the hotel side, the bigger the city you go to, where you have more hotels, more competition, particularly cities that are like resort and destination cities like Orlando, Florida, Las Vegas, you're going to find the greatest discounts in the bigger cities where there's more competition. Mid-sized cities, you're going to find good variety, but lower discounts. In the small cities, kind of same thing. Smaller hotels, not as many rooms, not as big discount. On average, in the hotels, I think we saved 22% on average last year, which is great. Even in a small city, saving 22% will probably buy you all the meals that you'd have for the week, which is great. I just pulled up Bangor, Maine here online. The great thing about the ticket side of our platform, and also the hotels, is that we're agnostic about what ends up on the site. If there is an event happening in a city, whether it's a small concert or a small venue, if they put themselves into the aggregated network, we're going to show it. So the very first thing that we see in Bangor, Maine is the Mallet Brothers Band at the Camden Opera House in Camden, Maine. There's only 49 tickets left. Then we see, that says Casting Crows. I wonder if that means Counting Crows. Probably Casting Crows. Cross Insurance Center, Bangor, Maine. So it doesn't matter how small the city is. If it's got an event and that event promoter registers in the aggregated network to sell tickets, it'll show up on this website. Now, you might have a limited run. Yeah, see that there. But there are quite a few things going on there in Maine. You go to Atlanta, Georgia, where we're geolocating by IP address first. You can go multiple pages in Atlanta. You might go 1 or 2 pages in Bangor, Maine.
Yeah, that makes sense because there's just fewer concerts all in general. But okay.
Yeah, and you're probably not going to see Justin Timberlake in Bangor, Maine this year. You might have to make a little drive there. So
he's probably not made that as a destination.
That's probably not. Yeah. All right. Any other questions?
That's great. No, it looks like you did a good job.
I can tell you,
it's a really straightforward product, and we really appreciate you being in Agora. And this is, like I said, this is one of our beginning vendors that we've had in Agora, and I know they've made some changes here. And like I said, this is a great, great value. So when you're signing people up with the new memberships, let them know. And we have this posted right there on our site. Let them know that this is something that they have access to with our membership. And because of the membership, that's where you're getting these deals. What were you going to say, Lee?
I was going to say, you brought up a great point a few minutes ago about having a free membership. Imagine if we have a lot of clients, we have a lot of unions on our platform of big associations where you're paying $35 a month to $300 a month, or just a flat sum of a couple $1,000s a year. If you think about the savings you can generate just through a hotel stay or tickets like this, you can offset the cost of membership. The fact that you made the membership free just means it's just straight savings. It's not even a cost offset. So you cannot lose by joining. If you travel one day a year, you should want to be on this platform. But if anybody on this call knows somebody like me who travels 25, 26 weeks out of the year, you should invite them as soon as we hang up this call, because you're doing them such a great favor and a great service by giving them an opportunity to save, that it might enhance your relationship with them in other ways, particularly if they're a business client of yours. And then maybe invite, if they're having a good time with it, maybe have them invite their peers, their contemporaries to the platform as well.
Yeah. Also, as an advisor, if you don't, your membership is included in your advisor position. For those of you that don't know it, we've had a lot of new people come in over the last couple of weeks, and we're seeing just tons of new signups. So just let everyone know, as an advisor, you also have access to the marketplace, and you also have access to these same deals, just as someone coming in just with a straight membership. Well, good. I think you covered it all. And like I said, we really appreciate being on the call, Lee. And
I'm
with
happy to
that,
be here. Thank you.
with that being said, everyone have a great day. And like I said, this will be recorded. It's being recorded, and it'll be sent out to everyone. Thank you, Lee, once again. Bye.